slick dribble slipping in, and there used to be a time where I was able to be alone often, and I enjoyed it a ton. Today, other people are much more involved in my time, but I never used to feel lonely before, and I still don't now. But I'm coming to understand that few people have that calm, and loneliness often serves to be looked down upon. So here's what I found while researching that. Loneliness, a universal human experience, is a complex and multifaceted emotion. Despite its prevalence, it is often misunderstood and stigmatized. In recent years, loneliness has garnered increased attention from psychologists, sociologists, and healthcare professionals, especially as it becomes more apparent how profoundly it can affect mental health and physical health. Today, let's explore the psychology of loneliness, examining its causes, its effects, and hopefully some strategies we can use to cope with it. Loneliness is often defined as the feeling of being alone, regardless of the amount of social contact. It is a subjective experience. What one person considers loneliness, another might perceive as solitude or even a welcome break from social interaction. The discrepancy between desired and actual social relationships is central to understanding loneliness. It's not just about being physically isolated. One can feel lonely in a crowded room if they lack meaningful connections. Loneliness can be categorized into different types, such as emotional loneliness, which arises from absence of a close emotional attachment, and social loneliness, stemming from a lack of a broader social network. Additionally, there is existential loneliness, which relates to a deeper, more philosophical sense of isolation, often connected to the human condition and the recognition of our individuality. The causes of loneliness are varied and can be both situational and chronic. Situational loneliness can occur due to life transitions such as moving to a new city, the death of a loved one, or the end of a relationship. These events disrupt existing social ties and create a temporary state of loneliness. Chronic loneliness, on the other hand, is a more persistent state that can be deeply ingrained in an individual's psyche. This form of loneliness can stem from long-term social isolation, personality traits like introversion, or social anxiety, even from childhood experiences such as neglect and abuse. People who have difficulty forming and maintaining relationships due to factors like low self-esteem or fear of rejection are also more prone to chronic loneliness. Modern society has contributed to the rise in loneliness, or at least the reporting of it, with technological advancements, urbanization, and changes in social structures playing significant roles. While technology has made it easier to connect with others, it has also led to more superficial interactions, reducing the depth of our relationships. The decline in community engagement and increase in single-person households have also been identified as contributors to the growing loneliness epidemic. And loneliness has profound effects on both mental and physical health. Psychologically, loneliness is closely linked to a range of mental health issues, including depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem. The relationship between loneliness and depression is particularly well documented, with each exacerbating the other. Loneliness can lead to feelings of worthlessness and hopelessness, which in turn deepen the sense of isolation. Loneliness can impair decision making, attention, and problem solving abilities. Lonely individuals often experience heightened sensitivity to social threats, leading them to perceive the world in a more negative light. This negativity bias can create a vicious cycle, where the fear of rejection or criticism leads to further social withdrawal, deepening the loneliness. Psychologically, loneliness has even been shown to have detrimental effects on the body. Chronic loneliness is associated with increased risk of cardiovascular disease, hypertension, and a weakened immune system, all from being lonely, and the behaviors observed while we feel lonely. Studies have also found that lonely individuals are more likely to engage in unhealthy behaviors, such as smoking, excessive drinking, and a sedentary lifestyle, which further exacerbate these health risks. One of the more alarming findings I noticed in loneliness research is its impact on mortality. Loneliness has been found to increase the risk of premature death, comparable to or even exceeding other well-known risk factors, such as obesity and smoking. This highlights the importance of addressing loneliness not just as a psychological issue, but as a public health concern. Searching even more in depth reveals that advancements in neuroscience have provided further insights into how loneliness affects the brain. Studies using brain imaging techniques have shown that loneliness is associated with increased activity in the brain's default mode network, DMN, a network of brain regions involved in self-referential thinking and rumination. This heightened default mode network activity may explain why lonely individuals often dwell on negative thoughts and are more prone to depression. Additionally, loneliness has been linked to changes in the brain's reward system. Social interactions activate the brain's reward circuits, releasing neurotransmitters like dopamine and oxytocin, which create feelings of pleasure and bonding. In lonely individuals, the brain's response to social stimuli can be blunted, leading to less enjoyment from social interactions and further reinforcing social withdrawal, a true downward spiral if allowed to persist. Moreover, chronic loneliness has been associated with increased levels of stress hormones like cortisol. Prolonged exposure to high cortisol levels can have damaging effects on the brain, including reduced hippocampal volume, which is critical for memory and learning. This neurobiological perspective underscores the deep and pervasive impact loneliness can have on an individual's overall being. At this point, I noticed I had vastly underestimated how people feel alone, so I had to see what advice was available. Given the significant impact of loneliness, it is crucial to explore effective coping strategies. These strategies can be divided into two broad categories: those that focus on reducing loneliness itself, and those that emphasize increasing social connections. Cognitive behavioral therapy has been shown to be effective in addressing loneliness. Cognitive behavioral approaches, CBT, helps individuals identify and challenge negative thought patterns that contribute to their sense of isolation. By restructuring these thoughts, individuals can develop a more positive outlook on social interactions and increase their willingness to engage with others. Tons of people are unable or unwilling to get professional help, but a quick search of CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, may lead you to a few techniques that interest you. For those who struggle with forming relationships due to social anxiety or a lack of social skills training can be beneficial. And you could easily start that up by searching YouTube videos in areas you feel weak and take notes or let that guide be the start to your journey. This type of training helps individuals learn how to initiate and maintain conversations, read social cues, and develop assertiveness. Improving these skills can boost confidence and lead to more meaningful connections. Some of the more powerful advice I encountered is mindfulness practices, which involve focusing on the present moment without judgment. This can help reduce feelings of loneliness. By becoming more aware of their thoughts and emotions, individuals can prevent themselves from getting caught up in negative thinking patterns. Similarly, self-compassion, which involves treating oneself with kindness and understanding, can help reduce the self-criticism and shame often associated with loneliness. Once you feel sufficient in understanding you want to start reducing loneliness, jump right in and don't let the knowledge gathering phase prevent you from making or beginning progress. Actively seeking out social opportunities is an important strategy for combating loneliness. This can involve joining clubs, volunteering, or participating in community events. While taking the first step can be daunting, the benefits of establishing new social connections are significant. And while I teeter on the edge of enjoying or preferring to be alone, I do reluctantly understand the value of connecting with others. While technology has been criticized for contributing to loneliness, it can also be a valuable tool for alleviating it. Online forums, social media, and AI chatbots can provide a sense of connection for those who might find it difficult to engage in face-to-face interactions, or make a decent starting point at least. I wouldn't rely on human interaction longer than maybe 3 days just to jumpstart your career, though. It could lead to an unhealthy reliance that could make things much worse for you. However, it's important to use technology mindfully, ensuring that online interactions complement rather than replace real-world connections, and that you have a positive experience. Even here, clicking that enjoy button, sticking around, coming back for more discussions, and engaging in respectful conversations in the comments could be steps to push towards a brighter path. Loneliness is a complex and pervasive issue that affects individuals across all demographics. Its causes are multifaceted, ranging from situational factors to deeper psychological and societal influences. The impact of loneliness on mental and physical health is profound, highlighting the need for greater awareness and intervention. Understanding the psychology of loneliness, including its causes and effects and coping strategies, is essential for addressing this growing concern. By fostering connections, promoting mental health awareness, and creating supportive communities, we can help mitigate the impact of loneliness and improve the overall well-being of individuals and society as a whole. We are in desperate need of it at this moment in time, for sure, and it'll only get worse before any improvements actually head themselves. A heavier topic today, for sure, but aside from that, what is something you have researched extensively you could teach us about?
Briefing detected an enemy abductor. An enemy abductor's structural integrity at 30%. Prepare for final assault. Enemy abductor immobilized. Advise immediate force onto assault. Enemy abductor in pursuit. Proceed with caution. Contribution acknowledged. Standing down.
This is all thanks to you.
Is that it?
Donate resources to the Ministry of Productivity to earn entitlement points.